Morning, kiddos. It's Thursday, the 30th of May 2019, and a warm welcome along to Lincolnshire's Chapel Hill and this morning's United Kingdom talk. Here I am, fresh and bright from my morning porridge. Oh, delicious. I porridge with... What did you have for breakfast this morning? What did you have? I had porridge with honey. I'm into that now. I've come off the overnight oats for a while. I may have... Now, I hate doing this, as you will know. I may have to chuck away some yogurts because there's like... I think they go out of date today from Aldi. Probably all right for another few days. But I wonder if my sister will have those, actually. Or perhaps I could bring some down to Central Station tomorrow night. Anyone want some free, fat-free yogurts? I've got a bit fed up with the overnight oats, I'm afraid. Yes. So I've gone on to porridge now, which I did enjoy this morning with a little bit of honey on the top. But not too much. Just a little bit of a squeezy honey. We use the squeezy honey, not the hard stuff, you know, the one that chips your nails as you try and eat it there. And I discovered this morning, I've made a discovery this morning, gang. I've made a discovery this morning. And that discovery is, if you flush your toilet, do not immediately, after the water has finished cascading. I like that. Oh, what a great word. That is a great word. Cascading. Once the water has finished cascading down the back of the toilet pan, don't think that is the time to put one of those little sticky things with the, you know, the thing that you... what's that called? Is it a stick up? Something like that. It comes in a tube and you push it down one and a little green thing or blue thing, depending on which flavour you've bought. A little green or blue thing comes out the end, and you stick it on the side of your, you put it on the side of your, inside the toilet bowl, and you pull it off again, and it stays there. Not if you've just flushed to change it, because you put it there, oh, it's still on there. Now, at this point, you've then flattened the one that you've got by pushing the little tube up. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Okay? So then you have to do another one, and you try again. Won't stick to the side of the toilet. Oh, hang on a minute. I just flushed it. Maybe that's why. Maybe the water is still flowing down, even though you can't see it with your beady eyes. So I'll have to wait until I finish the show before I can put another little stick-up smelly thing on the side of the toilet. We do like to smell clean and fresh, which is more than I can say for some of you this morning. Some very, very dirty-looking people on the line this morning. Let's see who's there. Let's see who's going to be the dirtiest, the filthiest today. Not like that. We don't do dirt and filth on this program. It's a family programme, I keep telling you. Mark Jones, first message of the morning. Good morning, Mark. Shania's there on the Isle of Wight. Have you got those things on your toilet, Shania? What do you do? It's nothing worse than someone with a dirty toilet, is it, Shania? Oh, my God. Let me tell you, the worst one, I'm not going to describe it. Don't worry if you're having your breakfast at the moment. Believe me, you don't need any more reason to feel sick other than look at my face first thing in the morning. Look at this face. It makes you feel sick, doesn't it? Good. I'm glad it does. The worst toilet ever I went in, funnily enough, was only a few weeks ago in Cyprus Airport. Oh, my God. I came through the airport. You come through the airport quite quickly, actually, at Paphos Airport, Cyprus. They got those automatic checkout things or check-in things to the country. What do they call that? You know, when you come off the plane, you walk down, you get your bag, and you check in through that place where all the policemen and all that are. Well, they're all automatic. You just put your passport down, it flashes a photo, it gives you a bit of paper. You go to the bloke on the check-in, and you give him the bit of paper, and you're in. That's it. And I came in and I was desperate for the toilet. I went straight into the toilet. Oh, my God. It was the worst messed up, that's all I'm saying, the worst messed up toilet I have ever seen in my life. And there were only two of them, one next to each other. Not only that, they didn't have the walls that go from the top to the bottom. They had those panels. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Oh, God. And the smell. So I went in the one next to it. Luckily, because I was one of the first out, that was free as well. And I went in there and, okay, that one's all right. Close the door. But, of course, the smell is coming under the door. Oh, my God. Awful. I mean, if only I'd had some of those little green things. Well, that wouldn't have been enough. I mean, there would be some serious cleaning had to be done in that toilet next door to mine. Awful. Awful. How can someone leave it like that? Oh, ghastly, awful people. They must have come off one of those nasty EasyJet planes or a Ryanair. Wouldn't have come off a British Airways plane. Certainly not done. It would have been one of those Ryanair customers. I bet it was one of them. Dirty, disgusting people, all of them. Mark Jones has gone to a meeting. Okay, have a nice time. Good morning to Wayne Martin. I hope you're not driving a bus and looking at me at the same time, Wayne. Am I audio only where you are? Am I audio only? Morning to Michael Lawrence, Michael Pullman in Australia. Morning, sir. Adrian Richardson says the excitement is building to see the new face of... What do you mean the new face? It's the same face as it was yesterday. I've only got one face, Adrian. Unlike some of the people that I work with, dear. Oh my God, the two-faced people in the entertainment industry is unbelievable, dear. Not that I'm one of them. I only have the one face. I'll tell you how it is. If you don't like it, switch off. That's it. Good morning, Adrian. Morning to the lovely, delightful Diane Jebb. Never a bad word to say about anyone. Morning, Diane. LaBelle was there. Good morning to LaBelle, who calls me her future husband. LaBelle, I hate to tell you this, I'd probably be more of a wife, if you see what I mean. Morning, LaBelle, you lovely, delightful creature. Morning to John Aitken, who's just had a boiled egg and soldiers. Oh, little soldier. It's something a bit... I mean, I eat eggs myself. I had a lovely lunch yesterday afternoon, actually, with a friend of mine called Tom. Tom Edwards. He used to be on the telly and the radio. He's quite famous. I had a scrambled egg with him. No, what did I have? No, I had an omelette and chips yesterday. Oh, we had a lovely time, actually, and we just sit there. I only met Tom about a year ago, and we kind of connected through this show, and my friend Ray Reynolds, of course. I don't think Ray's with us this morning, is he? Ray's not there this morning. And we had a good old chat yesterday about all sorts of things, actually. I do enjoy meeting up with him, and we became friends instantly when we met last year. Just instant friendship. That's nice, that is, isn't it? When you get instant friendship like that. I'll tell you a bit more about that later after I've read the messages here, okay? Good morning to Mike Rees-Ponto, Zippy, calling me Zippy after my video that I did yesterday. I am now on Snapchat. I am now on Snapchat. I don't know what my username is. Do you want to know it? Oh, I don't know. I couldn't get, I think the oh, no, I don't think it is. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can find a username. Where would my username be on Snapchat? I had it before and I kind of deleted it. Actually, I mean, what is it now? I don't know what my username is on this thing. Oh, I created a little, you can create a kind of a picture of myself. Now, is that a good likeness? What do you think? I can't get too close to the camera. There you go. Is that a good likeness or not? What do you think? I created that myself. It's good, isn't it? Little avatar, I think it's called, an avatar. Save Snapcode. Oh, Chris Reardon UK 1. I think that's me. Chris Reardon UK 1. I think. That may not be my. I think it is Chris Reardon UK 1. I think that's my name on there. So if you want to send pictures of your bits and pieces, don't. Mike says, up above the streets and houses, rainbow climbing high. Everyone can see it climbing through the sky. Paint the whole world with a rainbow. Boo, 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 boo. Hello, Bungle. Oh, hello, Jessie. Oh, and what have you been doing today? Well, Bungle, I've been watering my plants. What an awful programme that was. Rainbow. Morning to Tony Power. Talking about royal flushes today. That's what we're talking about, Tony. Talking about royalty, my aunt. Oh, my aunt, Aunty Renee. Aunty Renee runs a dance school. She is in her, I think she's in her, just coming up to mid-80s now. And she still runs a dance school. Well, where was she yesterday? Go on, where do you think... I'm going to ask you that and I'll tell you in a minute. See if you can guess. Where was Aunty Renee yesterday? Here's the clue. She got an award. Where was Aunty Renee yesterday? I'm asking you that question. Where do you think she was yesterday? John Aitken, I hate smelly toilets. Disgusting. Yes, they are. Just awful places. Michael Lawrence, after the show, I'm going to the cat to the cat. What's the cat? Going to the CAF for a full... Oh, CAF, sorry. Michael Lawrence is going to the CAF for a full English. You have a nice time there, my darling. Good morning to lovely Maureen, who's with us this morning in London. Wayne, audio and visual. What, while you're driving the bus? Here, haven't you got TV screens in buses now? You could plug me... Could you not patch me through to the other passengers on the plane, on the bus? That would be nice for them. Better than seeing those little adverts going on. Do you know, I cannot tell you how many years it is since I've been on a bus. Wow. I think the last time I was on a bus was in Sydney, believe it or not. Got to be years ago. A London bus. I don't think I've been on a London bus for 30 years now. The last time I was on one of those, they had the big machines in the corners with the great big buttons. Took up about 4 seats. Do you remember those? We talked about them. Oh, we must have talked about that about a year ago, Wayne. Great big machines they were, with the turnstile things that you could easily jump over. And you put your money in and a ticket came out. But they were massive, these machines. I don't know whoever thought it was a good idea to put those on a bus. Tommy, who when thought I was your future hubby? Tommy, you had your chance, darling. I can't be waiting around for you forever, dear. Too late. You've missed the opportunity. The door is closed. The train has left the station. The plane has taken off. It's too late. I'm sorry, Tommy. No, perhaps I wasn't young and pretty for you at the time. Well, there you go. Opportunity missed. Opportunity knocked. You don't remember Opportunity Knocks, do you, Shania? It was an excellent talent show in the 1970s where people came on the stage and did their thing and the audience voted. There were no judges, self-proclaimed important people, standing in front of them, telling them how good or bad they are. I don't like that in talent shows. I'm sorry. You know, the audience will soon tell you. No need to be nasty, like that whole X Factor, Britain's Got Talent set up. I hate it. Hate it. Opportunity Knocks. Big stage on the telly. Thames Television did that. And you went on and you did your act and everyone clapped and there was a clapometer and it went higher and higher depending on how many claps you got from the audience. And then people would write in, they would send a postcard in actually, with who they thought should win. Someone would count them up and that would be the winner. There wouldn't be a selection of judges slagging everyone off. It's awful. Awful to have judges, I think. I just don't like it. So that was Opportunity Knocks, yes. Adrian, was Aunty Renee at GAY Club last night on stage? No. Incorrect answer. Let's try again. Wayne, we need more passengers, not less. You'd bore them. Really? Oh, you think so, Wayne, do you? I bet you talk to them all as they get on the bus. Yeah, they're trying to get on the bus. And Wayne starts, oh, hello, how are you? Oh, I wish you wouldn't talk to me. I bet it's a bit like that, isn't it? A bit like that when you're doing your karaoke, isn't it, dear? Huh? Do you talk too much on the microphone? I hate people that talk too much on the microphone when they're doing karaoke. Just get on with the show, dear. That's it. John, what pills are you on? And can I buy them over the counter? No, you can't, dear. I'm never on any pills. That's why I'm still here. There's loads of my mates who were DJs, this, that and the other. You want to see the state of them now because they did the old blooming drugs thing when they were younger for years and years and years. You might get away with it for a few years, but some of them don't stop. They carry on in their 40s and 50s. You can't do it. You can't do it. That mad youth thing has to stay when you are a mad youth. Of course, I am always youthful, boys and girls. As you can see, I could practically get within a centimetre of this television camera situated in front of me here in our Lincolnshire television studio complex, and you would not see a single wrinkle. It's true. Was Aunty Renee with all the queens or kings? You're warm, Adrian. Come on, gang. Where do you think Aunty Renee was yesterday? Join in the fun. I've asked her 2 questions this morning and no one's answered either of them. What did you have for breakfast? And what was Aunty Renee doing yesterday morning, do you think? Or yesterday? Okay, I'll give you another clue. Yesterday afternoon. There's another clue. Where do you think Aunty Renee was yesterday afternoon? Come on, tell me. Adrian, I'm informed you talk more than I. I don't believe it personally. Liars, Wayne. That will be jealous people, John. Jealous people who can't hold a conversation together. That's what it is, dear. Jealous people. You know, they sit there. You know the sort. They go into And there are people like this, believe me. They go into a pub, they sit down, say hello to everyone, and get their phone out and start tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Wow, tap, tap. Facey. Tap, no, not facey. What's that called? Selfie. Selfie. Tap, tap. Selfie. Tap, 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 tap. How many selfies do you think people want to see of you in one night? Okay, when you're on holiday, it's always nice to have a picture of yourself standing next to, or in your case, on top of the Eiffel Tower, hoping that you'll slip off and the whole thing will go inside you. Huh? Next to the Eiffel Tower, perhaps those wonderful pyramids with the sphinxes, the cats there, maybe the Sydney Harbour Bridge, maybe the Empire State Building, maybe Big Ben or the Houses of Parliament. One picture next to you that is nice. Going out to a nightclub and taking 200 pictures of yourself in various different states of pissness is not a good look. Even one picture, I think, from a pub is just enough. How many pictures do you want to take of you pouting your lips and looking, frankly, stupid? It doesn't look good. People don't want to see it. You may want them to see it, but it doesn't matter how many pictures of yourself you upload onto the internet. When you're out at a club, no one is going to look. Thank you. Adrian, was she at Buckingham Palace having a cake? Yes, she was. Yes, she was at the Buckingham Palace garden party. That's where Aunty Renee was. She was at the Buckingham Palace garden party having afternoon tea, and no doubt she was probably, I don't know the exact details, she was probably spotted and invited in personally by Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II. I reckon she was probably sitting at a table there, and the Queen possibly in her kitchen, and with a little kettle and all that, and the Queen was doing all the tea and all that business, and my Aunty Renee sat there and personally eating tea and just talking about various... She was probably talking about me and how proud she is of me. I reckon that is the case. Certainly, I'm sure that would be the case. She was there having afternoon tea. Now, my aunt, so she won, she was awarded... It was one of those MBE, OBE, something like that it was. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she got it yesterday for services to the community. And... I will tell you, she's run this dance school for some time, many years, and she runs it in a sort of more, should we say, possibly like a deprived area of London. And my aunt has done this for years, and if she finds someone's a little bit short, because the kids have to pay to go to this thing. If she finds someone's a little bit short, she often tops up the money herself. Seriously, I don't think she makes a profit. It's about doing it for the community, you know. And she got an award for that, and I'm incredibly proud about Aunty Renee getting something like that. You see some people in life, and someone will achieve something, whether it's to win a race or be successful on the television or run a business, and other people, instead of feeling great for them, which I feel fantastic for her, they try and bang them into the ground. Isn't that funny how some people are like that, really, you know? A good example, my brother-in-law, actually, Martin, my sister's husband, he's very successful at YouTube videos. Very successful, and he's making a fair bit of money. He's not making millions, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's not one of those like that little boy in China. What's his name? Ryan. If you look on YouTube, there's a little boy in China called Ryan, and he basically opens toys and plays with them. Right? That's how he started doing it. He makes millions of dollars a month. I kid you not. There are millions and millions of people watching this. And anyway, I was around my sister's house last night, and my brother-in-law said, come and have a look at these statistics, Chris. And he showed me these statistics you can get on YouTube. Clicks on his little picture and chooses, because he's got several channels. Retro Hacks, it's called. Retro Hacks. And you click on this thing, and then it opens up, and there's a little graph at the side. And it says, you know, along the right-hand side of the graph, it says 0 at the bottom, 2,500, these are viewers or views or something like that. Okay, 2,500, 5,000 or 7,500 and 10,000. It's like that. I said, well, that's funny. I've got a similar graph on my YouTube thing, which I look at sometimes, but it's got different figures. Along the side of mine, it says 0, 1, 2, 3. He said, do you want to bring yours up? No, I said, no, I don't really want to upset myself. But he's found the thing. He's found a way to make money from it, which I think was probably always his goal to do that, and he has now achieved that. And he's doing, and the figures are going up every month. They go up, and he gets a nice big fat check from YouTube. What do you mean? Do I? Well, yes, I have had. I got $60 from YouTube about 2 years ago. And that's the most I've ever had. But you see, doing this, it would be nice to get a little bit of cash for this, but it's not the main objective of doing this show. I just like to talk. And if a few people enjoy it, then to me it's worth doing. If I wanted to make money, I would have to try lots of different things until I found out what worked and what didn't want to work, and then I'd have to like doing it. You know, he's very lucky. He's found something that makes money and he likes doing it. I've been round there and it's very professional. You've got the lights there and everything. Oh, it's fantastic what he's done. And up there's 2,500, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 at the top. Me, 1, 2, 3. Of course, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe that's millions and they just can't fit in the word million next to it. I think that is the case, don't you? Adrian and Wayne and Shania, they haven't had breakfast yet. Really? God, well, it's a bit late, isn't it, for breakfast? No, you'll be more likely having brunch now. Don't do that thing where you skip breakfast. That don't do you any good at all if you're trying to lose weight. Not that any of you need to lose weight. I do. Because your body shuts down into starvation mode, doesn't it? I've heard, or something like that. Adrian says he's got some bad news. Oh, what's the bad news? Are you coming to the pub on the weekend? Is that the bad news? Please don't come. Please don't come to the pub. He says, I've got some bad news. I've had to turn off my 4K TV when you get too close to the camera. It does not show 1 wrinkle, just 1,000. Unlike me, have a baby face still. I don't think so, Adrian, because I don't have a 4K camera. So you wouldn't be able to watch it in 4K, dear. Thank you. Just a technical issue there, Adrian. Just a technical comment there for you. I don't have a 4K camera. You can actually buy a 4K camera now, a webcam. It's Logitech Brio. Not cheap. You're looking at about £180 for one of those. And it looks just like a little webcam. Do I have a webcam in it? Yeah, I have a webcam in it. This is very similar to the camera. It's not one of these, but very similar to the camera you're watching me on. One of those, okay? They do a 4K one, and it looks just like this. But I think it's unnecessary. I think it's unnecessary. I don't think I think the quality of this is good enough now. You don't need to sort of upgrade it at all. John says the only pills I take are for indigestion to keep my heart ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. Where was your invite to Buckingham Palace and a slice of cake? Says Adrian. I didn't get one. Well, I was too busy. It was kind of I don't know, I shouldn't really mention this. It was very kind of Queen Elizabeth II, Her Royal Highness, to invite me, but I'm sorry, I was just a little bit too busy. It was on Tuesday, and it was a case of sitting in here, talking to you, and meeting my friend Tom Edwards, or going to the garden party, and I chose to sit here. Do you appreciate it? That's the question, you know, that's the question, Adrian. Do you appreciate that I turned down the Queen to come and talk to you? Do you appreciate that? Thank you, Wayne. Sending congratulations to Aunty Renee. Sounds like an amazing lady. Oh, she is. Aunty Renee is fantastic. And she is one of those people, a little bit like myself, who will tell you as it is. There's no mucking around with Aunty Renee. She don't like something or she likes something, she will tell you. And that's it. That's it. I've had great conversations with her. Great conversations. Good morning to Dukey Chris. How's the new job going, Dukey Chris? I haven't spoken to you since you started your new job at Paddy Power. Paddy Power, inviting the less fortunate into his little shop to spend all their money betting and watch them crying as they leave the shop. Don't gamble, people. Don't gamble. Don't gamble. Adrian, I'd hate to see you in 4K, then I'd be in shock, but my television does upgrade. Bad pictures. I do get frightened sometimes when you lean towards the camera. Mike, I don't know. I don't know if YouTube stream 4K, but I don't think Facebook do. I've just realised I haven't been doing. We haven't looked for YouTube messages yet. I beg your pardon, YouTube viewers. Just a minute. Let me come over to you, darlings. There we are. Morning, Claire. Morning, Claire. Started using buses recently in London and around Kingston. Can't pay with cash anymore. Cards only. Yes, you need one of those. Now, what's it called? Is it a shell card? A shell card, I think it's called, or something like that. Something to do with shells. Oysters. Oyster. It's an oyster card, isn't it? I don't have one of those. Don't have one of those, Claire. I hope you sit on a newspaper or something like that, dear. Filthy, dirty chairs. Ian, good morning, Ian. Ian Scott. Mrs. Public Transport back in the UK, buses and trains. Good days. In America, public transport doesn't really exist unless you live in a big city. I remember 1979, I went to America and we got on a Greyhound buses. Greyhound buses, it was a long journey all the way to Maine from New York. We was on there for hours. Wonderful transport. Greyhound buses. Are they must still be around, presumably, wouldn't they? We didn't go directly to Maine. We stopped somewhere called, it was in the Scouts, Sabumac campsite, I think it was called. Possibly the National Scout Association of America. Sabumac, I remember the song. We are marching to Sabumac. Yeah, that's the song. And then from there we went to Maine, high adventure place, canoeing, and what an experience that was. It really was. Claire prefers buses to the underground in London. You get a nice sightseeing tour. Yeah, sit on the top there. That's quite nice, isn't it? That is nice. Joseph, do you remember the buses that had the long handrail at the back of the bus that I could just jump on and jump off? And the clippers with the ticket machines. Yes, of course. Yeah, I used to go to school on one of those, primary school, when it was there. Sometimes we walked. Sometimes we waited for the bus and it was sixpence. And the conductor often wouldn't even bother collecting the fares. He said, no, I'm too busy to collect fares today. And he ran in up and down, so we got off at the other end and never paid a penny. Wonderful. I don't know how they made any money back in those days. Oh, dear. Where are we there? A lot of Greyhound coaches are the American version of National Express. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much for that. I like that one. Good. So, as I say, yesterday I had a lovely lunch with Tom, and we went to this place near Heckington, and I can never remember the name of the place. It's like a farm shop type place, and they've got a lovely eating area, and then they sell all these homemade cakes and jams and all that. It's a lovely place. Really, really good service in there. I just remember outside there is a sign that said Boston sausage or Boston sausages, something like that. And it was really nice. I had an omelette and chips, which was nice. A couple of bits of toast I had. And then he had a full English breakfast. And we both finished off with a sticky toffee pudding. So nice, sticky toffee pudding. Mine with custard, he had his with ice cream. And afterwards we had a photo taken outside just by the road there, which you can see if you want to. It's on my Facebook. Go facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK is where you'll find the photo of that. And a lovely, lovely afternoon. And we just sit there for 2 hours talking. But we both like people watching. We both like people watching. We really do. The waiter, a young lad was the waiter. He seemed incredibly nervous. And then we found out it was his first day there. And all the staff, they bend over backwards in there to make you feel comfortable. Price of the food is very reasonable. We had 2 meals, 2 puddings. I had two teas. I think he had a bottle of water and another drink. And he had 2 slices of toast and I had 2 slices of toast. And that was about £35 for all that. which I thought was fairly reasonable because we had the puddings and all that. If we didn't have the puddings and the toast, it'd probably come to more like 20. So reasonable prices in there, lovely food, nothing left on our plates at all. Really nice afternoon. We just sit there talking about things. We love to people watch. We love to people watch. And first of all, when we got there, we're sitting down. There's an elderly couple sitting next to us on the right. And they just weren't really talking to each other. Funny, isn't it? They're just stuffing their faces. I suppose, you know, after you've been with someone for so many years, there's not a lot left to talk about, is there? I don't think I'd have a problem, though. I'd always find something to talk about. Don't you worry about that. Good morning, Joanna. Morning, Joanna. Morning to Joseph McDonald. I said hello to you. Most waiters bend over backwards, Chris. Well, I wouldn't know anything about that, Joseph. I don't know. What are you insinuating, dear? Weird City Citizen in the house. Good morning to you as well. So they got up and left, and they left half their food. Oh, I hate that. I hate that there was bread left there, potatoes, vegetables, just left on the plate. Why did you order so much blooming food if you don't want to eat it then? What a dreadful waste. Dreadful waste. And then we're sitting there having a meal, and these two other people come in. Now, they were young. They were young. They were big people, and they came in. He looked like he needed a blooming good wash, he did. And she managed somehow to squeeze into these trousers she had on. And they sat at a table a little bit further along. And the entire meal, they just tapped away on their phones. Literally. And not even like down on the table like that. He's got his phone like this, and he's going like this. He's talking to her, right? Like now and again, he used that hand to pick up another bit of food and shove it in his mouth. It's just awful. Why did you even bother coming out for a meal if you're not going to talk to each other? Well, they were talking to each other, but they were also at the same time both on their phones. But maybe it's me. Maybe I just can't do several things at the same time. If I'm doing, just a minute, you know, and I don't like to. And I got my phone. We not once did either of us pick up our phone while we were having that meal. We were just watching people. No, they tap, 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 flick, 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 tap, 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 tap. And they were in and out in like 10 minutes. Oh, I dropped my phone now. Hang on a minute. Dropped my phone. There we are. They were in and out of that restaurant in 10 minutes. Dreadful. You know. Don't understand it. Really. Then Tom popped outside for a cigarette. We had a cigarette halfway between dinner and pudding. Came back in for our pudding. And we were all trusted in there. We're just popping out for a cigarette. Is that all right? Yeah, that's okay. You know, we could have driven off and just not paid, but we wouldn't do that. You know, maybe they look at you and they can tell whether you're going to do something like that or whatever. I don't know. But a lovely meal. A lovely meal. Just sat there talking and watching. Do you do people watching? I like to be. I'm watching you at this very moment. You know, I'm watching. Good morning, Ben Parker, who says that they don't make, the Greyhound coaches don't need to make money back then. They were nationalised. What, the Greyhound coaches? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, if you say so, I assume that's right, you know. Well, they were certainly quite comfortable in those Greyhound coaches, I must say. Very nice indeed, air conditioning and the lot. You know, I think we went through the night, actually, sleeping on the coaches. John says, stop talking about pudding. Oh, go on then, John. Go on, John. Go and open that cupboard and have one. Oh, I'll let you have one at 10 o'clock in the morning, dear. A pudding. A bit early, isn't it? Oh, so that was our little afternoon there. I came back in. Now, you remember the blue lights that Ray Reynolds kindly gave me for the caravan, which I've put up there, and they go 3/4 of the way along the top, so I need some more. I've not been able to locate any. So I ordered something that looked very, very similar on the Amazon, and that came last week. And unfortunately, I thought I'd do this just before I go for my afternoon sleep, and the connection's different. So no good, unfortunately. I could, if I really wanted to, I could probably cut the wire at that connection, twist it together and put a bit of tape on it. But it's not a good thing to do that, really. If the connector's wrong, then that's how it is. So they're being sent back to Amazon. And then I've actually got the packet of the other lights, and there's a phone number on the bottom. So I rang the phone number and explained the situation. She said, right. She said, well, the ones you've got come out only at Christmas, so you won't find any around of those at the moment. They will be out again sort of around September, October time, which is when we start sending all our Christmas lights and stuff out again. She said, but, she said, if you look on the back of the packet, there's a code. It start HSP. And I'm like, oh yes, I've got that. She said, what's it say? I said, HSP12. She said, right. She said, those lights were manufactured in 2012. She said, really? You want to find a packet with the same code on there simply because, number one, the shade of blue might be different, and number two, the connector also might have changed in another year. So she says, if you're going to order any of the like clip-on to the ones you've already got, because they don't all need to be plugged. Well, they all need to be plugged in, but you plug in one end and the rest plug on to the end of those lights. You see, you don't need another plug on there. And I said, oh right, okay. She said, well, good luck with that. She said, but if you're not finding any, she said, you may well not find. They may all be gone. End of. You know. So I had a look on eBay, and there are people selling blue connectable lights on there. But of course, none of them tell you what the code is at the bottom, so you don't know. And I think what I'm going to have to do is, when Christmas comes around, if I want to sort of put the blue lights around, I'm going to have to buy another main set, what plugs into the mains, and then decide how many sets I want to plug together. Probably only 2, actually. And then buy those both at the same time with the same code on, and then they'll be the same. But I don't think I'm going to find another set that will plug in with the same code on it as the ones I've already got. So that's a bit unfortunate, that is. But I'll send the other ones back and be done with it. All right. So that was that. Let's have a look. And then in the evening I went over to my sister's house and we started watching this film on the telly on Netflix. I think it was Richard Gere in it, and he was playing this character who was pretending to sort of be able to do things that he wasn't very good at pretending to do, if you see what I mean. I can't remember, but we watched about 45 minutes of it, and we're not quite sure where this is going or what's happening here, so we stopped watching it in the end. Couldn't be bothered to watch that. And then we watched something else on the telly. What did we watch on the telly after that? I can't remember. Oh no, maybe that's all we... Oh no, then we watched Watchdog. Watched Watchdog on there. And it's funny, actually, they were talking about energy companies and how people have had difficulty when they've changed energy companies. And it's supposed to be a smooth thing. And I thought, hello, I've just done this, funnily enough. I've changed from Outfox to Market because the customer service is just absolutely abysmal. Can't recommend them at all. Outfox to Market, okay? And we were talking about this, and someone said when they came away from it, an energy company went bust. And what's supposed to happen then is that you don't lose your electricity supply. Ofcom, or Ofgem, whatever they're called now, they get another energy company to take over that one. Right? That's how it works. But any money that you've got in the kitty, that should transfer over as well. And there were these people on there owed, what, 80 quid, 100 quid, 200 quid. One bloke was owed £1,000. £1,000, which hadn't been paid over to him. You see? So we're all discussing that. And the host was in her little electric wheelchair. Nice girl. She's got blonde hair and that. She's quite a competent presenter, actually. Very good. She's going around the studio in this little electric wheelchair. And I thought, well, I hope you don't lose your electricity, my love. You won't be able to move around this studio, will you? Have someone pushing. Can you just imagine that, losing your electricity and you're in... Well, that must happen, I suppose. When you think about it, people in wheelchairs, they've got to keep an eye on that juice, haven't they, on the old battery, on the wheelchair. Or they'd be breaking down all over the place. You'd be busy if you're a good-hearted person pushing them back to their homes, dear, and plugging in. Not if you've just left an electricity company, though, maybe. Dear me. And it's funny that, so I watched all that, and that was quite interesting, watching all this Watchdog stuff. There's a gorgeous bloke just started on there. I think he's some sort of actor. Is it Kai? Anyway, once again, I've posted a picture of this lad on my Facebook wall if you want to have a look at him and gorp at him. Tongue hanging up like that. And he's covered in like jewellery, like bits of metal all over the place. I expect he's got bits of metal in very strange places on his body. He looks like one of those. But lovely lad. So I gawped at him, mentioning to the fact that my sister and my Martin how nice he was. So I watched that. And funnily enough, this morning, I've got an email from Outfox the Market because I've just changed. About 2 weeks ago from Outfox the Market to Shell Energy. Okay? And Shell Energy, I think it was early last week or the week before, sent me the final letter that says your energy switch has now been completed. We are now supplying your energy. So once that's happened, that's it. So the first thing I did was went straight onto my bank account and cancelled the direct debit to Outfox the Market. Right? I knew I was about £50-60 in credit, which should easily cover the final bill. Okay? This morning they've sent me an email. Oh, your direct debit has failed. Please contact us on this number or this email address and to discuss this. So I've sent them a letter back and said, well, you're not providing my energy anymore, so I've cancelled the direct debit. I expect to be in credit at the end of it. Please forward the credit onto my bank account. Thank you very much for supplying my energy. No need to be nasty. But the customer service is abysmal. I was owed, at one point, I was £200 in credit. Ridiculous. And it took them 3 months to send it back. Emails going to, please send this money, please send this money, please send this money. And they wouldn't reply. Oh, sorry, hasn't it been done yet? It was all that old bull crap. Hasn't it been done yet? Oh, sorry, someone's forgotten to do it. We'll do it now. And it wouldn't come. Eventually it came. And the moment it came was sort of just before I was able to switch from one energy company to another, free of charge. And as soon as I got it, I switched, and that was it. Started the process rolling, and now it's happened. So I cancelled the direct debit. They're still trying to take it out. They're not supplying my energy anymore. It's outrageous, isn't it? Mike, people use their mobiles in restaurants to brag on Facebook and give the impression that they lead an indulgent lifestyle. What, in Pizza Hut? McDonald's. Oh, we're out for a meal again. Where are you? Kentucky Fried Chicken. John says, I'm looking forward to the new David Tennant series on Netflix called Good Omens. It looks brilliant. I don't know that one, John. I watched a bit more programme last night. Oh, Ben, the buses you jumped on to go to school and didn't pay for. Right, okay. We were probably watching the show a little bit behind there, Ben. Talking about stuff we were talking about a little while ago. Sometimes people seem to pick up the show in different places. If you see the clock there. So if you're sort of quite far away from that clock in real time. So look at that clock there and see what time it is in your house. And that will be the delay between what I'm sitting here and what you're watching, if you see what I mean. So probably your time is likely to be, so it says here 3 minutes to 10. It's probably about 4 minutes to, it's probably about 2 minutes to 10 where you are. Possibly, or something like that. I don't know. What is the time where you... Can anyone see... is there much of a disparity between that time and the time where you are now at the moment, as a matter of interest, gang? I think people joining at different times, you see. Joseph, I remember the only companies we had were British Gas and the London Electricity Board. Yes, it seemed to work better then, to be honest. It didn't have all this complication. I think life has become incredibly complicated now. Incredibly complicated. It really has. Was in real time. You just didn't check the message screen. We can't just keep looking at the bloody message machine screen, Ben. You're lucky I'm looking at the messages at all, dear. God's sake, if I did that, there wouldn't be a show. It would just all stop and come to an abrupt halt because I'm just reading messages all the time. I do a little bit more than that, dear, as you well know. As you well know. All right, nice to see Esther McVie on the telly this morning. I don't think I'd ever seen her before. She looks actually quite sexy, doesn't she? Esther McVie. She wants to become Prime Minister. She's a Brexit lady. And old Naga, she was on BBC Breakfast. Naga was giving her a bit of a hard time, I thought. It wasn't happening there. And I thought she might do that. I did like Naga. I did like Naga on BBC Breakfast, but she's a bit. I can't think of the word. She's a bit over. I think she likes to be overpowering a little bit. Some of her snide remarks to the delightful Carol Kirkwood, who was reading our news, reading our weather this morning, telling us very hot weather on its way here, very hot. And she's a bit snidey sometimes, I think, towards other people. So I've kind of gone off her a little bit. Naga Mansouri, or whatever her name is. I like the Geordie girl. You know, with the one with the blonde hair. She's fantastic. She's got so much character and personality, that girl. Whereas Naga, not really got much personality. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. What do you think? Who's your favourite BBC Breakfast host? Who's your favourite? Do you like the Geordie girl? I can't remember her name is. One or two of you will know that, won't they? Anyway, Julian, good morning to Julian. 2 minutes to 11 there. So, okay, well you're only... I reckon you're only about 20 seconds behind all of you then. 10, 20 seconds maybe, something like that. Okay, I'll tell you what, have you got a second? Oh, you'd need to have one of those radio clocks if I was to do that properly. No, I can't do that. Adrian, go to the Ombudsman. Yes. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the people doing it. I don't think it's I think it's sometimes it's unnecessary to stir the pot, Adrian. You just get yourself into more and more of a state. So I just went along with it, and I'm nice. I'm quite nice in my emails until I get my money back, and then I go for it. It's going to be 29 degrees on Saturday, certainly down south. Well, I will be down south on Saturday, of course. So that'd be nice, won't it? Some nice warm weather. The air conditioning will be going on in my bedroom, in my house. Adrian says, don't forget Naga. She was a financial journalist. So she'd like to get into the nitty-gritty of items, but she's more interesting on the AM breakfast TV show. I never discovered her, really, until she was on BBC Breakfast. I don't really know of her, but she's more of a business... Yeah, I could see her as a business person rather than a, friendly person. It just doesn't come across, doesn't come across. Whereas the Geordie girl, really, you'd go down the pub with her, and have a drink and a little bit of a laugh. Stephen McGowan. Thank you, Joseph. Stephen McGowan, that's the one. Thank you, Joseph, 10:59. Yeah, you're only about... I reckon you're about 10 to 15 seconds behind, which is just internet. It's marvellous, really, when you think about it. So I speak, 10 to 15 seconds later, you get it. And it's all wireless, no wires, wireless laptop, camera, microphone, mixer, into laptop, wirelessly connected to my 4G router, over the 4G network via 3, and into your homes. Isn't it clever? Isn't it clever? It just is so clever. Morning to Claire. Claire says, Dan Walker is my favourite. I think that was him on this morning. Lovely smile. Naga is a bit of a know-it-all. That's exactly it, Claire. Thank you, Claire. She is. She's a blooming know-it-all. I did like her, but I'm kind of going off her a bit now. She knows it all. But when her and Esther McVey were on the telly, would you like Esther McVey as a Prime Minister? What do you reckon? I'm not being funny. No, I think she's beautiful. She looks like a porn star, doesn't she? She looks like, if you type into certain websites, MILF, she would come up. Perhaps that's a little side thing that she could do in number 10 Downing Street. And that Naga was so anti-Brexit, and it came across this morning. It really came across this morning. That Naga was so anti-Brexit on the telly this morning because, of course, Esther McVey is a Brexit lady. And she says we must leave on the whatever date it is, the 31st of October, isn't it? That's it, yeah. She was going on. But whether or not we'll get a third woman Prime Minister, I don't know. I'm perfectly happy with whatever. I don't think it should matter, really, whether you're a woman Prime Minister or a male Prime Minister or gay or straight or black or white. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. I always think that the best person for the job should get the job. So many companies now, they do I can't remember what it is, but they went, oh, we were going to have so many white people, so many black people, so many straight people, so many gay people. No, absolutely not. What you need is the person who best suits the job. Doesn't matter what colour or whatever they are. You know, if my dead cat can be more of a better Prime Minister than Theresa May, then so be it. Dig her up and put her in office. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. But I don't go along with, we need to have so many of this, so many of this. So, no, the best person for the job should have the job, no matter what they are or what they look like or where they're from. Absolutely. Absolutely. Positive discrimination, I think it's called. I think it's called positive discrimination, something like that. You know. But whatever, whatever. Let's have a look. Joseph says, I would be... oh, hang on a minute. Quiz, can sometime we do another quiz show like last week? Oh, I'm sure we can, yes. I'm sure we can. Ben says, Naga strikes me as a Kay Burley wannabe. I'd go along with that. I think Naga wants to be Kay Burley. Mind you, Kay, she's knocking on a bit old Kay Burley, isn't she? Cool, dear, she's got to be about 60 now, isn't she? Well, she looks it on the telly. Heart of stone, that woman. She is the ice queen of news reading, isn't she? Kay Burley. She was on LBC for a short period of time. And she was on Saturday morning directly after Steve Allen. And the changeover between the two, he would call her into the studio and they'd have this chat, but it just didn't flow. It didn't work. Steve would be talking to her and she kind of wasn't coming back, didn't know what to say. Funny, isn't it, really? I don't think she lasted on there very long. Could you do a garden show? Oh, we might be able to do a garden show. I've got a little bit of an ambition of doing a show actually outside there on the veranda one day. So we will do that one day. When? I don't know. There's lots that could go wrong there. An awful lot that could go wrong. For example, windy. We wouldn't be able to do it if it was windy. I've got to make sure neighbours aren't in other caravans at the same time because the voice will travel, believe it or not. Joseph says, I would make a great Prime Minister. Do you think so? Ben reckons we won't have another female Prime Minister for 20 years. Do you think not? Well, I don't see that it makes any difference. You might be right. But to me, it makes no difference what people are. If it's the best person for the Prime Minister, then that's who it should have. And should it be Esther McVey, then so be it. I have bet on these things in the past. I wouldn't like to put money on it at all. After hearing her this morning, I was quite impressed with what she had to say, I must say. But then again, I've been impressed by others. So who's going to get it? I don't know. I know the favourite is Boris Johnson, but they were saying on the radio the other day, the favourite never gets it. I don't think the favourite has ever got it. So maybe it won't go to him. We could have an unknown. Couldn't we? LaBelle gets me in real time, but I'm hours behind. It's a little after 5 a.m. in New York. So, yes, of course, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're 5 hours, aren't you? 5. It's about time you went to bed, isn't it, lady? Come on. Chop, chop, dear, off to bed. LaBelle is a nighttime person. She's out of those nightclubs, doing shows and hosting and all that sort of thing, aren't you, my love? Time for bed. I'll let you go to bed in a minute. I'm nearly finished now, okay? Positive discrimination. That's the one, Ben. Thank you. Would you vote for me being Prime Minister, says Adrian. I'd put them all straight. No, I don't think I'd want to turn straight. I did try that once before and it didn't quite work out for me. But thanks for the offer anyway. Oh, dear. Okie doke. Let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday on this, what is it? Thursday, or only one more day of May. We're into June then. Into June next week, or on Saturday, aren't we? Happy birthday on this Thursday, the 30th of May, 2019, to Angela Selby. Good morning, Angela. Happy birthday to you. Maxwell DeFranca is 40 years old today. Happy birthday, Maxwell. Ralph Shields today is 62 years old. Tom Gully, good morning, Tom. Happy birthday to you. Patrick Honor, he's turned up at the karaoke a few times and he does show numbers and he's got like tap shoes and everything. It's wonderful. Good morning, Patrick. Happy birthday to you. Gary Energized Simmons, he was a DJ. works in music, 57 today. Happy birthday. I didn't realise you were so old. So old. Gary, sorry dear. You're actually about about a year and a half older than me. So happy birthday, Gary. I always thought you were sort of in your mid-40s for some reason. Well, you probably were when I knew you. Loredana Scarpellini is 57 years old today. Craiger Bell, good morning, Craiger. Very theatrical is our Craig. Good morning, Craiger. Happy birthday to you. And Liam Goff, it's his birthday as well today. So, happy birthday to you. Joanna says, earplugs ready. Come on, Joanna. Chop, chop, dear. Are they in yet? Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, gang. LaBelle was in her PJs and under her covers. You're the last thing I see before I turn over to sleep. How do you sleep? It must be like a nightmare watching this rubbish on the telly, isn't it? Go to sleep, go to sleep. Da, 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 da. Go on, close your eyes. Let me serenade you to sleep. Go to sleep. Da, da, da. So I say good. Go on, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Good night, children. See you in the morning. Good night, children. I can see you yawning. Da 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 da. I can't remember the rest of it. Sorry. Maybe you've already gone to sleep. So we must say, I'm serenading you today, LaBelle. I'm serenading you today. Okay, now talk very quietly now, boys and girls, because LaBelle is trying to get to sleep. So I don't want any of you making too much noise, okay? Keep quiet. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Thanks for watching and listening.